It's another beautiful day in Broncos country. 4-2, tied for first in the AFC West. Guys, the first seed in the AFC is still on the table. This is a weaker year in the AFC than what we have seen previously, and it's why I want to see our Denver Broncos make a move. Now, we're going to go through some names here that the Bleacher Report has put out on potential names that they think could be dealt. Some of them are surprisingly, or not surprisingly, names that we've already discussed throughout the channel over this season, but there are some new ones as well. So y'all be sure to like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and shout out to Prophet X. We'll get to my play here that I'm making on the Broncos here in the middle of the stream, but let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Bleacher Report put this out, and okay, we'll start at the top. So they do this every week. It's the 2025 NFL trade block big board entering week 7. So this was put out today. Number 10. Haven't we already talked about Cody Barton? Haven't we already talked about Cody Barton, how he would be tremendous, guys? He's making like $8 million a year. You can acquire him for less than that. He's under contract for, I think, through next year. We miss him so much. Why didn't we cut Alex Singleton and just bring him back? I don't know. But Cody Barton should be available. The Tennessee Titans just fired Brian Callahan this week. He has been fantastic. I think he's got at least 2 interceptions this year. And yeah, 38 tackles, 2 PBUs as well. He picked off Geno Smith last week. So yeah, I really, really like Cody Barton. They're saying projected trade value would be a 2026 fourth round pick. That might be a little rich for me, but I would not hate it because, guys, we also have an extra fourth round pick thanks to the Devon Vele trade with the Saints. Now, I think we give them our own fourth round pick. I don't want to use the Saints' fourth round pick on Cody Barton. Number 9, David Njoku. We're going back to last year talking about him. Now, his contract is structured in a way last year to where the Browns are going to eat a ton of dead money trading him. It made no sense. But, guys, they suck. They suck right now. They got Dylan Gabriel starting at quarterback. You guys know the mess that the Browns are, man. Mary Kay Cabot is selling. It is saying that the Browns will be selling David Njoku. Well, looking to sell, but are not looking to sell key players such as David Njoku. Sorry. But they put him on this list. And sometimes I think that this is positioning by GMs. Say, you know what, he's not available to try and raise the price up. I'll spoil a little bit. Alvin Kamara is on this list. The Saints came out and said they're not trading Alvin Kamara. You got to trade Alvin Kamara. And there's no reason not to. Now, they want a third-round pick for David Njoku. I feel like that's totally fair. He's a very, very good tight end. I just don't see this to be the right time right now. We got Evan Ingram, and there's a tight end that we can acquire for less. All right. Tariq Woolen available for the Seahawks. We don't need a corner. That's like one of the positions we're fine at. Now, the New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara, projected trade value Bleacher Report here has at a 26 fourth-round pick. And again, he's 30 years old. The Saints, they're rebuilding right now, though I think they have looked a little bit better over the last few weeks, I guess, with Spencer Rattler starting. But he's cheap to acquire. I think he's under $5 million to acquire for the team trading for him. And right now, this is something that we haven't talked about. What happens if J.K. Dobbins gets hurt? Do you guys feel great right now having RJ Harvey and maybe Tyler Bidet be those guys? Oh man, I don't necessarily know how I feel. I mean, JK has been such an important part of this team, and hey, you bring in a guy like Alvin Kamara as well. That could be a really, really nice 3-headed monster for just to be a stabilizing force for this running game, man. And we're still without Ben Powers for like the next 7 weeks or so. You might need somebody that can come in and make the most of this offensive line that has some holes right now at left guard and at center. And Alvin Kamara can still he can still make an offensive line look good. That's just how good he is, man. So I think he's still looking fantastic. his salary cap hit won't be nearly as high as it is for the Saints. So, yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on, man. They want a 26th, fourth round pick for him. I would like to think you could get him for less, but what do I know, man? Kayvon Thibodeau, New York Giants. We might see him this week. Brees Hall. This guy would be really, really fun, man, to bring in. But again, I just don't see it right now. I think he'll want a contract extension because he was a second round pick, I think, out of Iowa State. And I think he's close to being in his contract year. They want a 26th round pick. I'm absolutely not spending that on Brees Hall. He's also had fumble issues. Incredibly talented, but yeah, potential suitors, Cardinals, Chiefs, we're not in there. I don't think so. Now, Mark Andrews, they did have on this list. I think this is pretty interesting. Projected value, a fifth round pick. That's something that I would do. Yes. If you extend him for another couple years, I think that would be really nice, but he could play that inline tight end while Evan Ingram plays out in the slot. And I think is still definitely an upgrade over Adam Troutman, who then could kind of fill in as that third tight end for us, right? I would absolutely love to acquire Mark Andrews and should not be a big cap hit, especially as we're going throughout the NFL season, man. We got plenty of space. I think we got about $14 million in cap space. He will be well within that. So he's 30 years old. They got Isaiah Likely, though, in Baltimore, who's really coming into his own. And Baltimore, man, they're terrible. They got one win this year. Now, they have potential suitors as the Chargers and Seahawks. They should definitely throw the Broncos in here, man. The Chargers got Tyler Conklin and Gadsden, but hey, they still have them on this list. Why not have the Broncos, man? I would be so happy to have Mark Andrews here. You guys know that. Jalen Phillips, we don't need an edge. We don't need corner at all. Trey Hendrickson, we don't need another edge. Though it would be interesting to see if the Chiefs look to acquire him, or I guess they got the Cowboys and 49ers here. We'll see if the Chiefs make a deal, but this is what I want to get to, Chris Olave. And I want you guys' thoughts on this, man. Chris Olave, big-time playmaker. I think and the fact that he's putting up numbers and productive in New Orleans right now with as chaotic and terrible that situation is, I think says a lot to the talent that he is. I think he would be a perfect complement for Courtland Sutton on the opposite end. And then I think, even though, hey, I'm not out on Marvin Mims, I'm not out on Troy Franklin, like Pat Bryant, any of these guys, but then you feel real good about where this wide receiver room is at. If you got Chris Olave and Courtland Sutton as your top two punches, and then Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin as your third and fourth wide receivers in no particular order, I think you're feeling really nice there. That would be fantastic. Now, they said here projected value would be a conditional first round pick. So I'll read this and I'll give you my thoughts on this. If the Saints are willing to part with top tier players for the sake of a rebuild, moving Chris Olave would be logical. He's arguably the biggest trade asset on the roster. 25-year-old has logged 2 1,000-yard seasons in his career, has already caught 39 passes for 342 yards and a touchdown this season. With several notable receivers around the league battling injuries, he should bring New Orleans a strong return. The Ohio State product is also set to play on the fifth-year option in 2026, meaning he's under contract for 2 more seasons. Well, this season and next. So still hasn't signed an extension yet. For teams looking to add talent now and pay later, that's an important factor. According to Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football, teams believe the Saints will be willing to sell Olave, who has also been mentioned by Schefter on his list of players expected to be available. Teams in need of a game-breaking wide receiver should be contacting Saints general manager Mickey Loomis. Potential suitors: New England Patriots, Washington Commanders. Interesting that the Commanders are on this list, man, with Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel there, Luke McCaffrey. Patriots, yeah, I could see them, but I think that Diggs and Boutte have played. They've been a very nice 1-2 punch. For us, I think that this makes much more sense for Denver than maybe a team like Washington for reasons I just laid out. Now, again, 39 passes for 342 yards and touchdown, a history of concussions. There is no way, guys, that I'm feeling comfortable giving up a first round pick for Chris Olave, man. No way. I'm not doing that. Now, for some reason, we were able to get a 4th and a 7th for Devon Vele somehow, man. And maybe you're able to get a deal done with Mickey Loomis to where you're not giving up that. Um, I would not feel comfortable doing that. Honestly, with a first or second round pick, I could get behind a second round pick, I guess, because those hit much less often than first round picks. But I think it's really important for us to keep our first round pick, particularly because we need to be reinvesting on the offensive line, whether that's at tackle, center, or guard. And honestly, I would really, really love the Broncos this year to have like a non-sexy draft to where they're just drafting trenches, man. I know that that might frustrate people, um, that want more weapons, right? I'm saying in this title, Bo Nix needs more weapons, but hey, if you're able to maybe like a couple thirds or something like that, we see wide receivers, that they get traded for all sorts of like weird value. Like it's all over the place in terms of the value that they're traded for, right? So yeah, this would be something that maybe I would try to send a package of picks rather than giving up some of the top tier picks that we have, because then you can always trade back and reacquire picks, which I don't hate. But I would love that first round pick to be used on trenches, linebacker. But if we're able to negotiate Mickey Loomis outside of a first round pick, I think that this is something that you definitely have to consider, man, because I think that he would be a tremendous fit for the offense. I believe Sean Payton went up and traded for him, right? He was still with New Orleans at the time. And again, he's just been in a really bad situation. And that's also why I don't think that you should feel like the price is a first round pick, man, for this type of receiver, man. I just don't think so, with inconsistent production, albeit high production in certain seasons, but concussions. I don't think you have to do that. So yeah, y'all let me know the price, but that you'd be realistically that you would pay for this a receiver like this. Let me know. But I would be thrilled to bring in a weapon like this. Again, I think Cortland Sutton is definitely like your X wide receiver, right? Like your prototypical guy that can win those 50-50 balls in the red zone. Like he's fantastic, but we do need a guy that just, I mean, we got other guys that get open, but we need a guy that can like get open. You know what I'm talking about, man? Like we don't have one of those guys that's just like, dude, he's gonna get open, right? All the time. Chris Olave might be the best guy available in the trade market to do that. And I think it could be really, really exciting. Now, you got to pay him. You got to pay him after 2026, and that's where things get tricky, right? So, y'all let me know your thoughts. I'll go here for a little bit. Be sure to like and subscribe. And also, how could I forget? Shout out to the sponsor of this channel, ProfitX, your number one peer-to-peer sports prediction market in America. Use my promo code Dave and get up to $200 in profit cash within your first 30 days playing. Terms and conditions apply, and available in 40 plus states, including Texas, where I reside, Colorado, all over the country. You can create your own plays. It's fantastic. I've been having a great time on it this season. So thank you, ProfitX. I love you very much. And right now, I'm going to show you my play that I'm making for the Broncos this week. Right now, since peer-to-peer, you can create your own. You can really get the best odds compared to normal sports books. Minus 6.5 right now. Broncos minus 130. Okay. Like I get that, but why not go big or go home, man? You can get plus 115 for Broncos minus 8. You can get plus 109 for Broncos minus 7.5. You can get plus 100 for Broncos minus 7. I think I really like that, man. So we're gonna go ahead and put $10 of profit cash down on here, man. And they always got to make me verify my location, all that, make sure I'm in the United States, man. But that's it. That's just what we're gonna be doing, man. Let's do it. Shout out to ProfitX. Promo code Dave, guys. Get on the site, enjoy it. You also help me out. You guys are wonderful. So get to a few of your comments. Thanks, guys. Okay. Okay, David Youngkin coming in here saying, would you trade a first round pick for Chris Olave? He says, absolutely not. I'm absolutely with you. Hydra Ammo is done with it. He's absolutely done with these questions about weapons. Why? Let's get to it. He says, let's not talk about uh, more offensive weapons. That's too much for Sean Payton's plate. He'll change the personnel even more. Let's just let him figure out what he's got. Took him 6 weeks to use Evan Ingram. Hydra Ammo, probably the most level-headed take on this, man. Let's be real. You're right. Sean Payton loves to do these mass personnel changes. But if there's any consolation, I guess, to push back to some very good points here, Chris Olave already should be comfortable with the system, man, because he was with Sean Payton, I think, for like a couple of years, then Steve Carmichael for a couple. So, yeah. Kamara could show Harvey the ropes, but I think that should have been done during the Vele trade. Dude, I'm with you. I know this is excessive, man. And maybe this is why I suck at fantasy football, guys, because I'm just always wanting to trade for dudes. But I think it's fun. If I was ever an NFL GM, I would be one of those guys that's always looking to deal, always looking to try and upgrade. And yeah, it can burn you like Russell Wilson, but it can also work out in your favor, right? It can work out in your favor. But Alvin Kamara would be a guy that I would have brought in as soon as I could, man. Might seem like overkill having RJ Harvey, Alvin Kamara, and J.K. Dobbins in one backfield. I do not think it's overkill because running back, guys, running back is an important position. I think it's one of the most important positions in football. Now, of course, outside of like the trenches and quarterback stuff, right? Running back's making a comeback. Okay. We've seen that. We've suffered for too many seasons here in Denver where we did not have good running backs. I don't want to go through that. There's a running back renaissance going on, man, and let's lean into it. And Breece Hall is going to be definitely way more expensive than Alvin Kamara. All right, David coming in here saying Sean can't figure out how to use who we have now, and people want to add more just so they can stay on the practice squad, like A.T. Perry, who has been on the practice squad for 2 seasons now. David, do not diss our king, our practice squad king, A.T. Perry. I want to see this man activated, but you're right. Why trade for Chris Olave when you got A.T. Perry on the practice squad, right? Now I know I'm twisting your words, right? I'm just yanking your chain, right? But I think it's true, man. Sean Payton has shown that sometimes, man, he can be a little slow adjusting to new guys coming in, man. Troy's almost there, basically a year away. Let's let him have another offseason like this one. I think that this is a perfectly reasonable, level-headed take. David and Hydra Ammo coming in here with great takes, man. Yeah, I think Troy, year 3 breakout, it's on the table, man. I don't think Troy right now is on pace to reach 1,000 yards, but hey, he has a couple games where he just absolutely goes off this year. Maybe that could happen. Guys, we've got 51 people watching. Please come here on YouTube, like, subscribe. That does tremendous things for the channel. I love you guys. Hydramo saying Chris Olave worth a second and a future third. I would do it, man. It would hurt, but I would do it. And again, guys, like you can reacquire those picks if you decide to trade back. And we had that trade back this year. We should have done it with the Giants. They wanted to trade up for Jackson Dart, and then we're like, Jahdae Barron. Which, don't get me wrong, Jahdae Barron has been very good in the limited time he's been on the field. But man, it's not in terms of the value with where he's picked at right now and probably what we turned down. I think we would have all probably taken that trade at this point. Christopher Pickens coming in here. He's saying possibly, yes, I'm not sure what this is to, but maybe he's saying, yes, we just need a guy who can like get open all the time, like a Justin Jefferson, like a freaking T. Higgins or a Jamar Chase. We just need one of those guys that just gets open. Lab McConkey in a different way. We just need a guy that can get open, get bloody open. Hydra Ammo saying Chris Olave outside of first would be good. I would be very happy at that. I love it, man. Vicini, what's going on? Vic Chin? I don't know. Yo, was trading Vele a mistake? No, I don't think so. No, no. I mean, yeah, I literally don't think that he would have made an impact on this offense, man. So, no, especially when you got probably a top 5 pick in the 4th round and a 7th round next year because of him. So you reacquired the 7th round pick that you spent on him for. Now, okay, maybe does he come down with some of these drops that maybe and just disconnections that Bo has had with Troy and with Marvin Mims? I could see that. Yeah. But does Vele make a difference in us being 4-2 compared to 6-0, 5-1? I don't know about that. T-stick, tie stick, tis tick saying yes, he's a football player. Yes, trade for him. KCM saying, I'll be surprised if they trade for anybody. I just don't think it will happen. You know what, KCM? You're probably right on this, man. We don't normally bring in guys at the deadline. I mean, I'm trying to think the last guy that we traded for at the deadline. I mean, we've had guys like come back with like Chase Edmonds in the Bradley Chubb deal years ago, right? But like, you're not trading for Chase Edmonds. It might have been Vernon Davis, the Super Bowl year when we traded for Vernon Davis, who, he helped, I guess. He wasn't our starting tight end, but he provided depth for that room for sure. And I would say it worked out because we won a Super Bowl, right? So Vernon Davis is probably the last guy that we brought in via trade. But yeah, this is the first time that we can kind of see what's ahead. And the AFC is wide open. This would be a really fun time to get aggressive. And, the Chiefs, they're starting to get out of their funk, right? And what better way to put pressure on them is, have them have to worry about a guy like Chris Olave or Alvin Kamara instead of them getting one of those players, man. I would just be devastated if Kamara went to the Chiefs, man. I would absolutely hate it. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this live. This was a really cool article to go through. I'll go ahead and throw it here in the live chat if you guys want to read through it, and I'll put it in my description of this video as well. So that way you guys can check it out. Should be updated now. Of course, I will be back with my NFL Pick'em show next week or tomorrow with Rawhide Media, guys. I absolutely crushed this week. We did pretty well this week. And yeah, I'll have some more Broncos content, I'm pretty sure, later today as well. So y'all be sure to like, subscribe. And Tony, yeah, I was going to do a video on this one, like aside from this, but yes, if we are trading, it's to get offensive linemen. Ooh, that would make me happy. That would make me happy. So appreciate you guys as always. Go Broncos.